I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but sometimes I get worn down, stretched way too thin, and I feel like day in and day out, I'm just pouring from an empty cup. I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, I'm burnt out, I'm just really struggling to be exactly what I know it is that God is calling me to be in my day-to-day life, with my husband, with my children, in my work, in my homemaking, in all aspects of my life. And so sitting down and really thoughtfully going about this from a prayerful space, I wanted to share some ways that I'm really working to refill my cup so that I can pour into others as the Lord has called me to, and to feel that renewal and that just strength that I know comes from the Lord as we walk through every season of life. Come and join me today, friends. Hey there, friends. I'm Heidi, the Heavenly Minded Homemaker, and I know that sometimes we can feel so worn down, so exhausted, just stretched too thin, regardless of why it's happening. Sometimes it happens, and I know for me, honestly, I've kind of been feeling that way a little bit and trying to figure out what I wanted to do and getting stuff done around the homestead here or with our homeschool here with our online ministry at Heavenly Minded Home. I've just started to feel like I am pouring from an empty cup, and I hate that feeling. And really, the Lord laid it upon my heart when I was thinking through some things and kind of going, okay, I am way too empty right now. I need to refresh and refuel myself so that I can truly pour into others as I feel the Lord calling me to. What do I need to do to fix that? And I said, you know what, Lord, I hear you. That's exactly the video we're going to put together here today. Ways that we can refill ourselves when we feel like we're pouring from empty cups. And so these are some of the top ways that I go about that in my life, and I hope that they can be a blessing to you here today. I do want to say, be sure you watch through till the end, because that last point, that is what makes everything truly come together and address not only the feeling of being burnt out and stretched too thin, but the root cause of it. So just hear me out. That one's the big one. Now, one of the most important things I think we can do for ourselves to really just refill and recharge when we're feeling so empty, just so down, stretched so thin, is movement. This makes such a difference. And I know sometimes can be the hardest thing to do when you don't feel like it, but you're going to feel so much better afterwards. Now, I know for me, I have been calling my mom in the morning because she was kind of feeling the same way and just really needing to get up and get walking more. We got these amazing walking pads, and I will link it down below. I've shared mine before. I love it so much. But for the times when I can't get outdoors, or for the times like this where I love getting to call my mom, we do a video call. I just set it up on my desk. I love it because I can walk when I'm working or walk whatever, but doing it with my mom definitely makes it so much better. I'm able to get on there and walk with her. We get some time of just fellowship together. Don't mind the Great Pyrenees, huh, buddy? Needing love. Sitting outside enjoying the beautiful weather. So of course the Pyrenees have to come hang out and visit with me. But I love this time that we get to be together. I get that time of fellowship with her. I'm up, I'm walking and moving. I recently got to work with Fitville, which I've worked with before. They have great shoes. I had foot surgery earlier, or the end of last year, and have been healing from it this year. And so finding some good walking shoes was really so important to really help support me, help me to still feel good, not have the foot pain and the things that I usually have with a lot of movement, but being able to have some good walking shoes. I've got the walking pad. I set up my laptop or my phone or tablet or whatever, call my mom. We get that time of just connecting in the morning, chatting with one another while I walk. And the next thing I know, you're right, I am feeling a little bit better. I am feeling just refilled and re-energized, and getting my water and my, beef supplements that I take, my Primal Queen supplements, right? I'm doing those things to help me start feeling better, and then having that motivation and encouragement from that time of movement really does have such a big impact on the rest of my day. And so movement is definitely something I would recommend for any of us who are feeling like we need to be refilled. We need to be a little more motivated and encouraged throughout our day. Now, my next recommendation would be to make a task more enjoyable, and especially when we're struggling a little bit. We're feeling stretched too thin, we're just worn down, burnt out. Sometimes we really need to find a way to make the tasks that we do need to accomplish a little more enjoyable, because we all have those things we have to do. Regardless of where we're at or what we're going through, life is still life, and there's things we have to tackle. Something that I love doing, like today I had to go to the grocery store, and so being able to connect with my friend and be like, hey, you want to come and join me? Let's grab a coffee and go do our grocery shopping together. My husband and I will go and do this. We'll have like our date day. We'll grab a quick little simple lunch together, but then we'll run the errands and do that together. Having that time to just, yes, I spent a few dollars. I did get a coffee, right? I took $5 and did something a little special and fun, but then we went out together and did the grocery shopping and had that time. It was kind of, we went early in the morning before the kids were up needing the things, and my house was kind of just, quiet and rolling along. Same with her kiddos here. And we were able to take that time to just have a little bit of fellowship, a little bit of enjoyment together that helped me feel when I came back, instead of being completely worn out because I was just running errands and taking care of all of the kind of drudgery of life, I had this fun, nice, enjoyable time. And I think we can do that in so many different ways. Something like if laundry is a really difficult task for you and you just hate getting it all folded and sorted and put away or whatever, that can be a great time where you couple that with maybe listening to a video like this, or watching something you enjoy, listening to a sermon, right? Kind of coupling it with something that is so enjoyable that you do look forward to. So that way the task seems just a little bit nicer, a little bit more fun, and actually something you can look forward to versus something that's just wearing you down even more, especially when you're already feeling like your cup is so empty as is. And my next suggestion is exactly something that I am trying to do myself, and that is to do something that you really love. And I think sometimes we're so focused on doing all the things that need to be done, all the things that we need to do for others, and that's great. That is important. We do want to have servants' hearts. But sometimes we need to spend a little bit of time doing those things that we really love, that really do just re-energize us and nourish our souls. And sometimes for me, that's things like getting out and working in the yard. I love being out and tinkering around in my garden and working on fun little projects around the house. And they're really not the things that I get to as often as I'd like, because I'm just so busy and doing so many other things that I'm not getting to kind of re-energize in that way. Another thing I've really wanted to work on is just reading more. So often I don't sit down and read. I love reading, I enjoy it, but I always have too many things I'm trying to accomplish to just sit down and spend some time with a good book. And so I have gone ahead and picked up a couple books from our local library and said, all right, these are good sized books. They're topics that interest me, and I am going to spend some more time, especially with the weather being as beautiful as it is here in Western North Carolina. We can feel autumn is here. Everything is starting to change. I want to spend some time sitting outside, be it with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or whatever it might be, and just spend some time doing something that I love. Reading a good book, tinkering around in the garden, right? Whatever it might be, I want to spend some more time doing that, because I'm really feeling that I've stretched myself a lot. I've had a lot of plates, I'm spinning all over the place, which is great. I love doing that. But I need a little recharge for myself. I need to refill my cup so that way I have more to pour out to others. And spending a little bit of time doing something you love can really be a great way to accomplish that. Something else that goes a little hand in hand with that is sometimes I think we just need to pour a little more beauty into the space around us. Sometimes when life gets difficult, right? Regardless of what it is that we're facing in the current season, sometimes it gets difficult and it's a little bit harder to see the loveliness and beauty in the day when you just feel worn down. And so sometimes it doesn't have to be extravagant, it doesn't have to be expensive, right? It doesn't have to be over the top, but having a little bit of a refresh in your own space is something that can do that. And it might be switching out, pillows in a room, right? It could be putting, kind of tidying something up and tackling an area that has a lot of clutter. Maybe it's putting a beautiful candle, or for me, like my lampe berger, or, something in the space to make it smell delicious. Sometimes it's just a little touch that really goes a long way to just kind of refresh your physical space with some loveliness, because I think that really does impact how we're feeling inside. And so when I'm feeling frustrated inside and worn down inside, and then I look around and I just see clutter and chaos and mess and just overwhelm physically around me, that really has an impact. And so kind of tidying up a space, maybe bringing in a little element, again, it could be from the thrift store, it doesn't have to be extravagant, but a little element that just kind of spruces up the space and makes it feel good. I know I was kind of looking around everything. The leaves are falling, or trees are becoming bare, which I love. I love this time of fall. But then my little planters that I had in my space out here on the patio, I'm coming out here more and sitting out here because it's so beautiful. But then I start noticing all the things that really could use some attention and some help, right? Isn't it how it works, where you finally sit down, I've got my book, I've got a cup of tea, and then you start looking around and you're like, ooh, that really needs some attention. I got these wonderful, they're like faux plants, but faux plants have come so much further than what they used to be, that I remember back in the 90s. And now you can get some really, really nice ones. And so this company sent over some of these faux plants, like topiary plants. And I was like, you know what? That would be perfect to set out here on our patio. So now when we are coming out, spending so much more time on the patio, instead of me just noticing all the projects that haven't gotten finished and all the things that need my attention, I was able to kind of tidy the space up a little bit and kind of make it a little bit nicer. Again, it doesn't have to be extravagant or over the top, but it was a little refresh, a little bit of loveliness physically in the space, that now when I come out here and I sit down and I'm reading and I'm drinking my tea or visiting with friends or whatever it might be, it just feels a little bit nicer. And it's that little piece that just makes you go, okay, right? I feel a little bit better on the outside. That's going to translate to a little bit better on the inside. Continue to address these things and work through them to refill myself, so that way I can be serving those around me far better. And last, and certainly not least, the most important thing that we can be doing when we just feel like we are pouring from an empty cup. I am burnt out, I am stretched too thin, I'm unmotivated, I'm overwhelmed, I don't even know where to begin, is we really need to look at our quiet time with the Lord. Because sometimes we need to cry out. Sometimes we need to sit in the stillness and say, Lord, help. What am I missing? What am I not surrendering? What am I not trusting you for? Where can I draw near to you to help me get through this passage, this time, this season where I am just feeling empty, done, exhausted? And it's in that quiet time. For me, I love sitting outside in the afternoon when my kids are content and playing, and having, a nice beverage of some sort, hot or cold, depending on the weather, and just sitting down with my Bible. Maybe it's putting an earbud in and listening to scripture as I go throughout different tasks throughout the day. Maybe it's having a sermon series that I'm starting that really can just put some good, thoughtful conversation into my head. But having that quiet time, whenever it works best for you in your day, making that a pillar of your day to go to the Lord and just sit, be still, be quiet, rest in Him. And I know sometimes that can seem like the furthest thing. I don't have the time for that. There's no way, I can't. We need to make that a priority, because it's in that quiet, in the stillness, when we humble ourselves, we empty ourselves, and we come to the Lord and say, Lord, help. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I know I need to do this, or I need to take care of that, and I can't keep it all together. Lord, you guide me, you direct me. You bring me to your path, your will, your desire for my life. We open up God's word, right? We go to truth, and He leads the path. So let's make sure that in all of this, there are many great things we can do, but we need to be doing them in the stillness and the quiet of what the Lord is calling for us and speaking to us through His Word. So sweet friends, I truly do hope that these things can be a help and encouragement to you here today. I am quite literally working on these things myself as well, and it's what we're pretty much going to be doing here in the next series we're doing in our membership group, the HMH Collective. It's our private group here on the channel where we dig into these different areas. We were studying biblical womanhood, and now we're going to move into this area of really applying these things in our lives. I pray for each and every one of you, and you'll have to let me know down in the comments below, do you do these things? What else do you do to really go recenter yourself, recharge yourself, so that we can be pouring into others as the Lord calls us to? I hope that this can be a little bit of help and loveliness your way. I cannot wait to see you all in whatever it is I see you in here next. Bye, friends.